Hey everybody, welcome back to the Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Amber.
And I'm Brent.
And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about our first half a hog that we got.
So it's January 14th. We just went to Snake Creek Cattle Company, which is another homestead just up the road. Jason over there, he's our butcher, and he butchered up. We split a half of a hog with another homestead. So we've got, we just got it all picked up from the processor, Jason, and we want to talk a little bit about it.
So Jason's been butchering our larger animals for several years now, and he does a great job, and we love it because he's also of the same homestead mindset. It's not a big commercial processing house where you don't know where your meat's going. He's very, very good to work with, so we enjoy that. And he does a great job processing all of our stuff. We ended up with how many pounds?
72, let me think about it, 75.2 pounds of processed meat is what we're putting in the freezer today.
And that was half of a hog.
Correct. And this particular hog, he live weight, he was 263 pounds. He dressed out at 150. Dressed out meaning the meat ready to be packaged. So, we're in good shape here. We're figuring, I think for this year, we're talking about 80% of our own food. I think we were right in the 1,250 pounds of meat that we're going to need for this year.
Right.
I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be in another video anyways. But we have our first chicken tractor. We're going to do our Cornish cross. They're going to be here in just a few weeks.
They'll be here in a few weeks, and we'll take you guys through that whole process. So that's coming.
Going to be pasture-raised chicken. We're going to do 3 or 4 sessions of those this year.
We're going to see how the first one goes, and then we'll judge it if it's going to be 2 or 3. You have to work with Mother Nature.
So a little more about this hog anyways. It's going to be this was a castrated male or a barrow hog. It was a Yorkshire Berkshire cross. They call them market crosses. Once again, this will probably be, I think our next hog actually might be an American guinea hog. Maybe. So we'll see. We got a few months before we get to that.
Yes.
And so anyways, this is our hog. We're putting it in the freezer for, like I say, January 14th this year. We still got a little bit of our last fall's hog still in the freezer. We're finishing that off. So I think you just mentioned the other day we were making pork steaks in one of our videos. So but here we are. We got plenty of pork steaks, plenty of bacon, sausage. We got it, like I said, we just got it all weighed out before we put it in the freezer. We're keeping track or documenting, like I said, all of our food for this year. We're going to do a follow-up video at the end. But that is just some wonderful looking pork steaks. So look at the fat. Maybe you might be able to see it in the video or not, but that's some wonderful fat.
These were loin chops.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to get this all in the freezer. And
hopefully here in the future, we will have some videos with Jason. He's agreed to let us kind of come in and give you guys a more in-depth look at his process there. So hopefully that'll come. Hopefully that'll come this summer. What's really good about getting with a local butcher like this is that I could tell him I wanted a particular steak. I could tell him I wanted a particular style, and he would do it. The way you find these guys is you start talking to your neighbors. We can't stress that enough. If you're not in a position where your neighbors are meat processors, you live more rural, go to the feed store.
Yes.
The guys at the feed, that's where they're getting a lot of their feed. Go to the feed store, start asking questions. You will find somebody that you can work with. It shouldn't be too hard. They're out there.
Another thing I'd like to mention too, we often tell Jason that we would like our meat more in a steak form or in a whole form. Because we have our own grinder. So throughout the year, if we need more hamburger meat, we'll take some less choice steaks or less desirable steaks and grind them up into hamburger meat and add fat as we need it. So
we do that quite a bit, and it's kind of a nice thing. So even with our cattle, we can be a little bit more adventurous, and we can ask for different types of steaks or different thicknesses. Or
it depends just what we're going to do with it. With some of our meat, we still even can ourselves for longer preservation to keep it out of the freezer if we need more freezer room.
Yeah, so definitely look into something like that.
I think our next steer, it's going to come, I think your stepdad Dale is talking about April-ish or as for our next steer.
Something like that. So early this spring, or
that'll be a huge chunk of meat. So
that'll be big. So, and how many hogs we do a year will depend on how big the steer is that we end up putting in there, how fast
total chickens,
how many total chickens make it, how much they dress out as. So there's a lot of factors into how many times we're going to go to the butcher this year. But
anyways,
I hope you'll have a great weekend. If you'll have any questions, if you guys do something similar to this, I'd love to hear about it. let us know in the comments. Until then,
leave comments. What are your questions?
Yeah. Until then, do all the things. Do all the things. We'll see you next time.